Joey Peters, senior reporter with New Mexico Political Report. Thanks for sitting down with us this week.
Thank you.
New Mexico Political Report is an online publication, and you broke the story that former Deputy Superintendent Jason Martinez is facing felony charges in Colorado, including charges related to children. How did you initially start to gather that information about him as he was resigning?
Well, yeah, he had resigned, and it was put out there by other outlets actually that he never completed a background check. And that seemed a little suspicious to me. So basically I started Googling his name a lot. And one thing I found was that he would go by T. Jason Martinez in some cases. So I eventually found an arrest record just online for a Timothy Jason Martinez. It didn't have his mugshot with him, but from there, in order to find out if this was the same guy, I just called up Denver police and the Denver district attorney, got the mugshot, got the arrest record. We saw it was the same guy, and then we just kind of frantically called APS for comments. And that was a Friday afternoon.
And I imagine you didn't get a lot of information from APS, maybe initially or ever. How did you continue to gather information on him, on what was happening in Denver before he came to Albuquerque?
Well, in APS, one of the green lights, when we got the mugshot, it was pretty clear it was him, but we had to dot all our I's, cross all our T's in this. And APS came back with a statement saying that they didn't know about this arrest, and if they did, they would have never hired him. So that was a red flag to us. So basically from there, we reported the story, and a few days later found that he had another arrest record from earlier this year on domestic abuse. And other outlets were reporting that fact, but the following Monday we found the details of that arrest, which involved him using a car, hitting a man in the buttocks with a car mirror in some sort of a love triangle, it looked like.
Now, you were getting this information from another city out of state. That sounds like an additional challenge for you as a journalist. Who did you work with up there?
Denver police, with their public information officer and with the district attorney. And in many cases, in the first case, it was the Denver police that got the mugshot to us, and then we had to get the details of both arrests from the DA. And they had all the information about the counts against Jason Martinez and everything of that nature. And yeah, it was basically working with Denver on this.
Did you do any additional records requests for more information about him?
I did some with the PED because, at least to my knowledge, every administrator who comes to New Mexico needs a New Mexico license, a teacher, educator, administration license at some point. Now PD claimed they had no records that he ever applied for one or that they ever gave him one. So on Jason, that was really the only records request I did. I did some others to APS on other aspects of this story, and some of those are still pending.
For folks who don't know a lot about records requests or the IPRA here in New Mexico, why is that important for a journalist?
Well, a lot of times you, as a journalist, don't have people commenting or when you don't have sources giving you tips, you need to access public records to find things out. And Inspection of Public Records Act is pretty much our FOIA, our Freedom of Information Act in this state. And it's been pretty effective for me since I've been here in New Mexico.
And I would imagine, to verify things as well and make sure the information you're putting out is accurate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What was most surprising to you in reporting these stories? Because there's so many different angles. We've talked about them a lot here on the show. There was one thing after the other for weeks that you reported on with this APS scandal. Anything surprise you?
Just the fact that not only did Jason Martinez have prior arrest records, but it was for probably the worst type of allegation possible for a school district employee, and that's sexual abuse of a child. I was surprised that he was going to trial in October. Like that, not only did he have these prior arrests, but they're not through the legal system yet. So I guess I assume if none of this came out and he still had a job, he would have to tell APS he was going on family leave or something in October. I was pretty surprised by all of that. And, you know, even if in October, if the trial goes his way and he's cleared, I would think you would still have had to do a background check at some point if he was still with APS. And even if he was cleared, these arrest records would have come up. So, yeah, it was pretty surprising.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from your audience, from folks who've read your stories?
Well, yeah, a lot of people have been thanking us for the work we've been doing. And just for the, you know, the charges just going to light, I've just seen a lot of parents and a lot of members of the public, you know, organize and protest APS and its leadership. You know, there's even, I guess, a recall effort of all of the board members except for Stephen Michael Quezada right now. So it's kind of snowballed into this big thing.
Any other questions you have that are unanswered that you want to continue to look at in this story?
Well, I mean, one thing's for sure, you know, most school districts do this. They hire a headhunting firm that finds a superintendent, which they did in Luis Valentino's case. This seems like an example of that process completely falling flat. So it'll be interesting to see how they get a new superintendent, if they go with the same out-of-state firm, or Stephen Michael Quezada has stated he wants to do it through a local firm this time. It'll also be interesting to see what happens to the administrators that Luis Valentino handpicked who are still at APS right now. There's been some questions raised about the daughter of the school board president getting hired under Valentino, and she is still there. There's been some questions raised about the chief of staff of Luis Valentino, who was part of the headhunting firm that found him. They're all still there, and members of the public know that, and some are critical about that.
Well, Joey, we'll keep following your reporting. Thanks so much for sitting down with us this week.
Thank you.